Hello YouTube and welcome to Turmoil in the Toybox. I'm your host Aaron Hauser, and today we're going to be reviewing the NECA Predator Series 8 Dutch Schaefer figures. This figure has two variants in this series, including the Jungle Extraction Dutch and the Jungle Patrol Dutch. Now each of these figures might be repaints of each other, but there are enough differences between the two of them that actually make both of these guys worth your money. Both figures come with a lot of accessories. The Jungle Patrol Dutch comes with a M16 with a grenade launcher, a pistol, and a knife, and then the Jungle Extraction Dutch actually comes with an M16, the pistol, a machete, and a knife. They also have some differences, as you can see, between how each of them are dressed. The Extraction Dutch has more of like a jacket and a different colored vest on with the grenades attached to the vest. And then the Jungle Patrol Dutch actually is a bit more lean as far as his costume goes. The vest is sort of a loose plastic there. And then he also doesn't have the gloves or the machete on his leg there. But the head sculpts are just incredibly well done. Let me see if I can get kind of a close-up there. They did a great job with Schwarzenegger's sculpt on this one. It's just completely dead on. And what I like about the head sculpts between these two guys is this one has more of a sort of a neutral look, and then this figure actually has him with the cigar in his mouth, which looks really nice. So, see if I can get that to focus. There we go. So yeah, there's enough differences between the two that actually make getting both of these guys really, really worth your while, especially since a lot of fans have been waiting for these guys for a long time. I know a lot of people have been bugging NECA for years to try to get this figure made, so they did a fantastic job, and I'm really pleased to say that these guys are definitely worth the wait. So as far as articulation on both of these guys, there's articulation in the ankles, in kind of tilts there, and then also rotates left and right at the knees, at the upper hips, also rotates forwards and backwards, rotates at the torso, and then it has a ball joint sort of mid-torso point there, flexibility at the wrists, at the elbows, at the shoulders, and then at the head on a ball joint there. This is probably the most perfect body sculpt for this figure, simply because it doesn't overdo it in a way that it's really it detracts from the look of the figure. All the joints are very well hidden, especially all the leg joints with the camo and everything on it. It just looks really, really clean. So I was just very impressed at the way that they managed to do that. Now, even on the Jungle Patrol Dutch here, set this guy down actually for a minute. It's always kind of obnoxious when you see a figure with really defined skin or a sort of a flesh look to them, and then you have these joints that just stand out on the figure. Now, even with that, the way that this is sculpted, it's not as distracting as it was kind of on, say, NECA's quarter-scale Gollum figure that they released recently. This is hidden enough, and sort of the joints mesh with the sculpt in such a nice way that it actually doesn't detract anything from the look of the figure, which is really, really nice. So, we'll actually just start with the Jungle Patrol Dutch here. Like I said, he comes with the M16 with the grenade launcher on it. Comes with his pistol, and then a small knife as well. Now, one of the things that I loved about this was that all of the weapons can be stored on the figure. So, actually, I'm going to tilt the camera up here for a second. There we go. Now, all of these weapons can be placed on the figure, which is fantastic. So, the gun fits perfectly into the holster on the side there. And then It's also got this little sort of, it's in the button, it's just a little tab that goes into the holster there and can pop in there. It's kind of hard to get it to do it with one hand, but yeah, you get the idea. And then the knife goes in a little sheath right there. And then you can either strap this over his shoulder, or the figure holds the M16 perfectly. So just kind of have to reposition his hand there. And then, wait a second. I gotta readjust this. And you can just clip it like that. So he holds it like so. So yeah, a place for everything and everything in its place. Looks fantastic. And the same can be said with the Jungle Extraction Dutch. And he's got the sheath on his leg for the machete. Goes in there. And then he has the same holster for the pistol. And for the small knife as well. And then the knife can also be held in his hand. It's a little easier to do it with his right hand there. The grip is just too wide on his left hand to make it work. So another thing is the grenades are not removable on the vest. I was kind of hoping they would be, but you know, it's not a huge deal breaker. And then he can hold the M16 the exact same way. Like that. So, oh, having some trouble. Well, you get the idea. But yeah, both of these guys are just beautifully done. I really love the articulation on them. I love how NECA was able to kind of hide those joints while giving it enough flexibility so that you can do some really dynamic poses with these guys. And then they also include the peg holes on the feet for the display stands. So if you want to put them on some of the older NECA display stands, you can do that as well. I did not buy the classic Predator that was released with this series simply because it's just kind of a rehash of, you know, the other previously released classic Preds. You know, I think the new articulation is nice, but I just didn't think it was enough for me to go out and buy. I think this will be my third version of the classic Predator, so I really just wanted the Schwarzenegger figures because these just look fantastic. Both of these guys are available now on Amazon.com. They go roughly for about 20 to 25 bucks each. I'm sure you'll be able to find these guys at Toys R Us soon enough for around 17 to 18 bucks depending. But yeah, this is a great set. Definitely pick these up, especially if you're a Schwarzenegger fan. That's about it for these figures. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and check out some of my other reviews. As always, thanks for watching.